This episode of the Great Lakes Outdoors podcast is brought to you by
Migrate Ammunition, GK Calls, Gibraltar Boatyard, Point Malay Waterfowl Festival, Gibraltar Duck Hunters Association, Turtle Box. We'd like to give a special thanks to Brian Ellithorpe. Give him a follow on all social media.
We appreciate all the support. Now let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a while. Welcome back to another Great Lakes Outdoors podcast, man. It's good to say again. I'll tell you that.
It's good to be back on the pod.
It's been a while. Trav and I are on here, obviously. That you guys, the ones that are actually watching, but the ones of you that are just listening, it's Trav and I.
You're missing out on my majestic stash.
When did you get that?
Oh, it's been a couple days. I decided I got a haircut, and I was like, I'm gonna try something different and go back to the.
You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because I don't know. I'm not getting weird with all this stuff because it's hard to see. I'm just saying it's hard to see. That's all I got to say about that.
It's a little bit blonde, a little red.
Maybe get some just for men's and maybe dye it a little bit. I don't know. It's not bad. Not bad. You've been super busy with whole hockey season lately, haven't you?
Yeah, we're in the thick of it right now. So I had an off weekend last weekend and back to the grind this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after. So
did you see the women's Olympic team today?
Unfortunately, I was using my time to volunteer at the local animal shelter today, so I missed out. But I heard about the game I missed, and I'm disappointed that I missed it. But
I'm glad you're making those improvements for your own. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad that you've committed your time to.
You see, you're trying to talk shit, and it's not landing.
I'm just glad you're fostering cats now. Okay, I'm just glad that you're helping abandoned dogs. I'm just happy. That's all.
I mean, someone in this group's got to do some good deeds to make up for all the bad deeds you do. So
I do good deeds. I was at Point Malay. Man, Sunday I think I walked 15 miles total that whole day. We did a bunch of new signs there, and then went shed hunting the rest of the day. And I think shed hunting alone was probably, I think it was just under 10. It was a lot.
See, I don't feel bad for you because you do it to yourself.
No, 100%. But I don't know. I kind of like the whole shed hunting aspect of it all. One, especially now, like when I first got into it, it was more of like just kind of, I don't know, to do something in the off season, I guess you'd want to say, like before turkey season came up. And I guess I can't even say turkey season because probably when we were in school even, I don't think I was even really turkey hunting then, was I yet?
No, I think it was towards,
Maybe.
I don't remember turkey hunting with you at all during college. So I think it was after college when you started really getting into it. And we shed hunted a bunch.
Which I turkey hunted before, obviously, but from up north is obviously a little bit different. Yeah, I think you're right now thinking about it. But like shed hunting, you just go to your parks or whatever and just kind of walk around and just try to figure out what you can find or if you could beat somebody to those local spots that really anybody could walk, So it was kind of just, like I said, just passing the time by. But now being able to go out and I guess do a little bit of research on your own properties and stuff and seeing the bucks that hopefully made it through the hunting season and hopefully make it through, the rest of the year until next hunting season. I don't know. It's just I like kind of gaining that info, I guess, on the properties, seeing where they're at, what they're doing, where the rubs are, I guess. I don't know. Just as a whole.
I mean, you have a little bit more of an added want to get out in the woods and find those bucks that eluded you during the year and watch the growth pattern. It's kind of a cool little aspect to the deer hunting thing.
Yeah.
You get to go out and it's a full circle thing, right? You watch it grow throughout the years and then you find their sheds and then you watch their progress through the summer and then you potentially maybe get to harvest them, in the fall. So it's a cool little hunt add to the process.
Yeah, I mean, even for my dad's, and that's what I was just looking for up on the wall. I just had it in my hand. I think I found another one of his deer sheds. I don't know where I put it, but it's somewhere up there. I thought I put it somewhere easy to get to. But even like having his deer when he shot his and then realizing I had a for sure match on at least one of the years. I know I have some other sheds of that buck, but just kind of, like you said, seeing that whole process, the growth process, and building more of a, history with that deer, I guess you want to say,
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool little piece to it. Like my dad's got a deer hanging up in the garage where he's got matching set of the sheds from the previous season hanging underneath of them. So it's just a cool little a talking point with it, you know.
Yeah. I think that's what my dad's going to do for his. He's going to do a pedestal mount, and then somehow I'm going to try to inquire the sheds, or he is, whatever, into that mount maybe. I don't know how, but we'll figure out something.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough top with that deer there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a rule over there because we talked during season, me and him, and with the farmer wanting the deer gone and him shooting a deer like that, it's almost gonna have to be one of those things where, let's say if it is an 8 or better, like we're gonna have to take it, not pass it up, no matter like the size wise or whatever it may be. It's gonna be hard, at least one per year, or whatever, just to be able to make the farmer happy, and then I don't know, I guess still get meat, but still letting a lot of those deer go. I mean, there's so many, the buck to doe ratio on those properties. I don't know the actual numbers of it, but they just seem insane to me.
Well, I mean, what you're gonna have to do is to fulfill your end of the bargain is do the summer doe season and go out and just whack a bunch of does, and then you can be able to use your actual hunting season to actually go out and hunt those big deer. So you're still taking deer off the property, but also still managing the property to produce big whitetails.
It's just one of those things, though, too. Like earlier in the year, and we've talked about it before on here, where you're nervous to shoot that doe early on. Because I mean, look at that big split G2 buck I had this year, where he was there all summer, and then come mid-October, he vanishes, and then find out the day that my dad shot his that deer was shot, not the same day, but in October. About a mile down the road. It's hard because you don't want to jump those deer out of there. You want to give yourself the best opportunity. And those big deer obviously don't get that big for no reason. I don't know.
I mean, there's pros and cons to doing it, and that's a whole podcast in itself about when to shoot does and jumping deer out of property and stuff.
I mean, we did shoot some does though this year. I mean, Jimmy got the one. I mean, we got a couple other does off of that property. I mean, so we shot some deer this year for sure, compared to obviously previous years where we didn't shoot nothing. But I don't know.
But that was all late season does, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're still getting them, I guess. You know what I mean? Still making it happen. I don't know, but I think the plan for this podcast is we're going to talk a little bit about shed hunting. That's why we're talking about all the deer hunting right now. There's a little bit of ice left still on the canals, I guess, or in the marinas. My dad just went out yesterday, I think it was. Caught some perch out there, but I don't know about over there, but it's heating up over here where it's starting to melt through. So the ice fishing, I didn't do any of it this year, but my dad got out there a couple times. But I guess a lot of people are starting to shed hunt a lot more right now. So I guess we just wanted to jump on here and just talk about that a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the 60s the last 2 days here in rain, so most of our snow is gone on the west side of Michigan right now. So it's primed to get out and go look for sheds. I feel like this is way sooner than it's been in years past. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like we have that fake spring right now. So trying to get out before we get hit with another batch of snow, probably that's going to be so.
You're not wrong. I think this week, actually, I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully this podcast is dropping this upcoming week, but I think this upcoming next few days is supposed to drop back down. But it's just crazy. Like even up north, I was talking to your dad today with how much snow that he still got up there. And in my opinion, with snow on the ground, even if it's, just 2-3 inches or whatever, if you're not hitting that or finding that shed at the right time, with snow on the ground is almost the hardest time of year to find sheds, in my opinion.
With snow on the ground or without snow on the ground?
With snow on the ground.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like a lot of the time you're seeing like the tines and that's it, but you're also seeing like a lot of like cattail reeds or phragmites and sticking up out of the ground where everything looks like a shed. That stick that has no bark on it looks like a shed. I mean, it does even without snow, but unless like you got some snow and that deer dropped on top, I mean, it's tough in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, unless you know your property really well and you know the runs, the food sources, the bedding. That's the easiest with snow on the ground, but not waiting till now and going out and walking those spots. Because I mean, I went out, was it 4 or 5 days ago, and there was still snow on the ground, and I'm sure I missed stuff. Like, I didn't find anything, of course, but there could have been sheds there. I just didn't see them because of the snow. So
Right.
gonna have to just go retrace my steps again and walk all the same woods I just walked 5 days ago because there was still snow on the ground.
Backtracking on that, what is your plan, I guess, or how do you go about shed hunting? Do you have certain areas that you start with or go into or not go into, or is there a period of time where you you wait on certain spot? Like what is your kind of thought process on when you start or where you start shed hunting for that year?
I mean, for me, I'm going food sources first, so I'll be hitting my food plots, walking the food plots, and then I've had cameras up all year, so I'm gonna go to those spots in the cornfields where I know there's been deer, and I know there's been bucks at. I'm gonna go walk those spots, and then from there I follow major runways, and then anywhere where there's like on the edge of property lines and stuff like that. I'm not, of course, crossing the property lines, but going to those areas where there's major runways and spots where there's low-hanging branches where a deer could be running across the road, and they
Right.
duck under and they hopefully knock their antlers off there. Like I'm hitting those spots first, and then no luck there, then it's kind of just a needle in the haystack. You're going to your next best thing, transfer area, stuff like that, where you're just ground searching. Like where I think when we found the last shed I found was probably with you. It wasn't my last shed, but the last big shed I found was probably,
Okay.
yeah. And that, I'm trying to think where it was, but it's been 5-6 years, and it was just laying in a wide open area. You would never think there was a shed would be there, but it was laying there.
It was in the woods.
Yeah.
There was there was a big just opening in the woods, clearing. I don't even want to say it was a clearing. It was just kind of a
Just a
open
big
little.
pocket.
Yeah, and I want to say that was like tucked up against a tree or something, wasn't it? Like it was
It was
tucked, or no?
It was out in the open.
Was it? I don't know. It's hard because in the beginning everybody's so eager to get out and start looking for them, especially when like the Facebook forums and like Instagram and all the social media stuff. You start seeing people, in other states and stuff finding them, or like even if somebody in your own state, you just hear Michigan, someone finding a shed, you're getting out there. But it's like for me, I feel like it's almost important if you have private property to almost wait as long as you can. Like for me, I'll go to a spot if I know a couple bucks have dropped because I got cameras out year round too. I'll have those out, and if I start seeing bucks dropping, I'm probably going to first start off with field edges or tree lines, not getting too far into the woods, I guess, because I don't want to bump those deer out of there or scare them off to have them drop somewhere else. So I'm going to go to the easy areas where I'm not, walking all over their bedding or whatever it may be. Maybe doing that a couple times, to be honest with you, because I have found probably majority of my sheds, maybe I'll say half, just on tree lines. And you never know when they're going to drop, obviously. I mean, I still got deer holding both sides right now, and we're pretty dang close to March already. So I use Onyx and put the tracker on as soon as I get out of the truck. That way I kind of know my pass on where I've gone, where I've been, or whatever. When it's early, you can't be afraid to go walk that same path just in case. But in the beginning, like I said, I just walk those tree lines, the fence lines, checking fields for the easy ones, I guess. And then as time goes on, start kind of creeping through the woods. But have you had a lot of success on deer runs itself?
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really had a ton of success in general shed hunting. I mean, majority of my success has come from the field edges going into the woods, or for example, at my parents' place, it's pines, and so it's where they come off the road running into the pines, or vice versa. I find a lot of them there where they're running in and they don't have a care in the world, and they're just going as fast as they can. That's usually where I'm finding my sheds at.
I mean, I see a lot of people posting pictures of them, like sheds laying on deer runs. But for whatever reason, I feel like a lot of my sheds that I find, especially in the woods, I mean, the fence lines and the tree lines and stuff and just wood lines, every deer is walking that. So it's hard, it's kind of a run to an extent. But in the woods, I find so many more sheds off of the deer run. I don't know. Like I've always been told, and obviously I don't know, that the bucks kind of have a different route than the main highway, I guess. Like they kind of veer off the main highway and just do their own thing to an extent. And I've never had luck just walking runs. I don't know.
And you're talking like right off the run you're finding them, or you're talking about a totally different run in itself?
I'm talking, like the one today I was walking on a run and I've seen that shed about 30 yards off, but it was in like a thicket. I don't want to say a thicket. It was more like just little like saplings that were sticking up, just kind of a good bedding area, I guess, I don't want to say it's a good bedding area, but there was saplings that were, I don't know, 5-6 foot tall. And then beyond that, there was a bunch of fallen down trees. And so, I mean, beyond the saplings, there was a bunch of bedding. But that transition kind of spot right there was where they were today. But I never have had really good luck on just runs for whatever reason. I know the deer herd up in the wintertime, but it just seems like those bucks kind of just still do their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, like the main deer run's gonna be the
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 go-to
easy
easiest out,
the
yeah.
easiest spot, right? Like if you want to find a ton of sheds, you're gonna have to veer off those runs and do your zigzag and you hit every piece of it. Because I mean, if you miss one spot, that could potentially be where their sheds are at. That's why it's always tough going with one person. It's so much easier when you have a couple guys out there and you both start on one edge of it and you walk like this and you can hit it and you can do a wood lot super quickly. I mean, really quick.
And that's what I think too, though. If even if that buck is walking on that run, and let's say he shakes his head and it's like in an opening in the woods, or like it's just in the hardwoods. If he shakes his head, shed could potentially be pretty far off of that run. Even I'm not talking 50 yards, obviously, but I'm talking like somewhere where it's not 2 foot away from it. It could be a little bit further than that, where maybe that's why I don't find them on the runs. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's really all off the deer's. The deer could have been running from a coyote and it veered off the path and knocked its antler off, where it's going down a hill and the shed falls off and it rolls and goes off the path. There's
Mhm.
no rhyme or reason where a shed's gonna fall.
I don't know. It's weird. I for whatever reason I do, and maybe it's just in my head because like I find sheds in this spot. I think they're going to be in there in that same spot the following year, but I feel like there's always those spots where they do shed, I guess, and it could be in the wide opening. It could be like the one I found 3 today within probably a 10-yard circle. And then there's some spots where I feel like there would be a shed there every single time, and there never is ever a shed there.
That's usually how mine goes.
It's just it's weird, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't know. It's very weird. And then south facing hills too. I mean, I've had a lot of luck. I don't want to say a lot of luck, but I've had some luck on that, especially when it's cold and as cold as it was for us, getting as much sun as they possibly can too. I've had that luck, but again, it's hard, especially if you don't have the private and you're battling everybody else because you don't know when that deer is going to drop. Obviously, it makes it a whole different toughness to it all.
Yeah, I mean it does, but I mean if you're those public land guys that they know a lot of those deer, so they know when to get in there and they know the spots where maybe some other people don't. But you do have guys that they'll go shed hunting is their thing
Right.
that I've seen. Like that's what they do. They're not monster deer hunters, but they're monster shed hunters, and they're traveling, they're going places, and they know where those sheds are at. And they're going to be the first people in there every time to find
Yeah.
those sheds. So that's one of the beasts you have to do with public, and it's nice having a couple chunks of a couple chunks of a little bit of property where I can hopefully just hold off, and maybe those people push those deer to me to where I can find some sheds.
I think between um Onyx, like I was saying, like being able to track where I was at, and it's kind of cool just to see how many miles you walk or just where you're at. I knows have helped me a lot too, whether it's in the woods or in the field. That has helped me a ton with being able to see further, stopping and scanning. And I've done it in the past where I kind of just walk through and hopefully stumble upon one. And it's almost scary to think how many sheds you walk past and not even realize. And this year I've been doing a lot more of kind of just taking a couple steps, especially like there's some areas where you kind of walk into and you're like, there's got to be something just sitting around here somewhere. Taking an extra second and really scanning that area and seeing if anything catches your eye. But I feel like it's hard sometimes too, even on flat ground. instead of like a hilly area, because sometimes on those hilly areas, you know, you kind of catch angle of that shed on top of the ridge where it's, you know, there's that not spotlighting, but like you see past it, like, and you could see it easily.
Yeah. Makes it stand out a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one piece that I have, I've never found a shed in it, but I know they bed all the time in there. It's a bunch of like hinge cutting and a bunch of down trees because I think they were logging it at one time. Where I'm deer hunting at, you know, there's 2 properties in between. And then the farmer owns the furthest south piece of woods on that piece, but the guy down the street hunts it. That's all like I said, just they're logging it all out. And I know they bed in there all the time. I've never found a shed in there. It's weird.
That's one of those pieces of property where you want to go in on your hands and knees and just kick around every leaf, every branch,
Yeah.
because you never know. It could be. They could.
It's hard, man. It's very hard. And it sucks. I've found 5 so far this year, and I think I've gone out 4 times. 3 of them have been old off of the same piece, and then 2 new ones today. And I wish I would have spent more time on it last year just because of the quality of the sheds alone. I don't know. Obviously, like the squirrels and the mice get them, and it makes it a little tough, I guess.
Do you have them sitting with you right now? Let's show the people.
Yeah, so this one here is, I don't know if you can kind of see, is the first one that I've seen today. Well, second one, I'm sorry. The other one is just like, it's literally probably this much of a section of like the main beam. So I just kept that for the dogs, man. I know a lot of people will just leave that stuff out there. So that one was, I don't want to say a fresh one, but it's this year's shed. I found this one here. I'm going to back that one up. That was last year's. I got a picture of this deer twice all year long, and it just sucks. He's, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. He's a little chewed up. Not bad though, honestly. But when I seen that first one, I seen the tops of these tines, and I thought it was just a match set. And you know, walked over to it, and sure enough, I mean, this was obviously an old one. And I think what really gets me is like the kickers off the main beam there. I don't know if you could see that at all. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about shed hunting, just the uniqueness of each one. And then the real big one is this guy here. So I almost think that these things are harder to find than the big ones, obviously. I think this might be the smallest one I've found, and I was super excited. I was probably more excited to find this one than I was the big one. And, you know, I found those 2, and I thought, man, must be a real good spot, obviously, because I got a fresh one and one from last year. And I turned around, and this thing was sitting 5 foot behind me. But those small ones are so tough. Like, they're so tough, man. Every stick looks like a spike, you know, unless you're out in the middle of the field, you can see it easily. And I don't know how some of these.
That's probably why I don't find any sheds, because mine are so hard to find because they're so small.
Oh,
and
shit.
you find so many sheds because they're just so big. I think that we figured it out.
I don't like you. It's I see sometimes even on Facebook though, these guys that they find like button buck, just little like nubs, and it's like, how in the world did you even like spot that? It's insane.
They probably got a dog or something, like a antler dog.
Well, I don't even know if a dog would pick it up though. I mean, they're so small, like you almost like, unless you're standing on top of it and just happen to look down and just pure luck to see it. I don't know how they do it, man.
Well, that's the one shed that I found shed hunting with you. We were crawling through the autumn olive bush. I was on my hands and knees, and I just happened to look down. There's just a chewed up spike laying on the ground. I'm like, I would never have found this if I wasn't just on my hands and knees right now.
Yeah,
just happened to touch it. It was crazy.
I remember that too, because that thing was tiny, and I was like, "How in the world did you even spot that?"
There was nothing left of it. It was so torn up. It's probably been there for a couple years. It just was luck that I had crawled on my hands and knees in that spot and found it.
I mean, that's like the true trophy of it all, though, right? I mean, like you're paying that close attention to it. I don't know. I think those are sweet. I mean, obviously, a deer of this quality here is. Could you see that there? I mean, it's hard to really see, I guess, how big it truly is, but I mean,
hold it right in front of your face. Yeah, like there. Yep, right there. Yep.
And then even like the uniqueness of like the main beam, it's got like a hole in the horn there. It's, I don't know, it's pretty cool. And I've thought about this deer honestly for a while, since we only got, you know, a few pictures of him, wondering where he went. and we didn't get any pictures of them this year. But again, that's what I think is super cool to have the opportunity to even just hunt that deer or hunt in that area of that deer. You know, I mean, that was 200 yards, 300 yards behind the stand. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's cool to have that chance. I mean, you just never really truly know what you're going to see out there.
I'm just right now. All I'm thinking about is you saying that little 6-point shed you found. You were more excited than finding that monster shed, and saying that's the true trophy. I think you're gonna pissing me off. I think you're gonna piss off a lot of people.
Well, I think the biggest problem with that statement is the fact that it's only got 3 points on it, and it's not a 6-point. So I don't know what
Yeah, it's a 6-point shed.
Well, you don't know what the other side could have been a spike though. So I mean, I only found the one side, so I don't know if it's a 6 or not. And I don't know what high school you went to or where you learned to count, but I believe that's only a 3-point shed. So I don't know. I don't even know where you're.
Why we don't do any podcasts, because you just say stupid shit like that and piss me off.
That's what it is, though, right? 3 points. I mean, what do you call that? I mean, we don't know what the other side is.
You're right. You're right, Kyle. I'm wrong.
What if you just broke off? I don't know what he had.
I'm just assuming, and you can't do that nowadays. So
I mean, he had to have been pretty dang tight, to be honest with you. I mean, he had only be about that tight.
yeah, that's the true trophy right there.
I think so. I don't know. I just never found one that small, I guess. So it's like just cool, I guess.
Because just you saying that's crazy to me. That's the smallest shed you've ever found.
I always think to myself, like, how many of those do I pass up or like just don't even like recognize?
You're like, oh, that's too small. I'm just gonna leave that there for the squirrels.
Leave that for the squirrels. I hate those stupid. We got squirrels so big, man. I was sitting in the tree stand this year, and I thought like
eating all those spike horn sheds.
I thought a fawn was walking by me. How big these squirrels are! I mean, these things are huge out there. And you know how squirrels are in the deer stand. You think it's a deer half of the time, and it just spooks the crap out of you, and you don't want to move, and it just, it ends up being a squirrel. We got to get rid of those stupid things. But then the first one I found this year, he's up here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's right here. I shaved it off. So, I don't know if I shaved off the tines. It was chewed up. Another good one. I mean, I only seen like the tops of them there, but I grinded it down just for the dogs to be able to chew on. I don't want them to be too sharp for them. I got to get rid of these squirrels, dude. They're destructive.
Well, let's go shoot them up.
We definitely can. I mean, I think season's almost over though already, isn't it?
I think you can hunt squirrels year round. I think.
I thought it was like the same as rabbit season almost. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think I've only ever went squirrel hunting like once in my life.
Here, let me Google it. How long is Michigan? September 15th through March 3rd.
Okay. So, yeah, same as rabbit, I believe. So, it's I mean, your base license, correct?
Yeah, it's just your base license.
Yeah, it's the same.
And they're pretty tasty.
I've ate them before, for sure. I mean, they are good. I've never, I mean, I've like I said, I've gone out once for them, and that's about it. But, I mean, even the field mice and stuff, I mean, those will tear them up. I mean, if you got porcupines and stuff, we don't have them down here, but porcupines will tear them up. I don't know what else really would eat at them. I mean, I'm sure birds pick at them.
I think I've seen somewhere that deer actually chew on them too.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen a cow chewing on a shed before, but I don't know if it's eating it. Just, I mean, it's probably
because the calcium and stuff in it.
Huh.
Yeah, specifically shed antlers as part of a behavior called something, often driven need for calcium, phosphorus, or other essential minerals. While they rarely chew on their own antlers while they're still attached, well, no shit. They will consume shed antlers to recycle these nutrients.
I mean, the antlers that's on the top of their head is almost like you licking your elbow or something. Try to lick your elbow one time, see how that works out for you.
Yeah, says Bucks. It's pretty same thing why squirrels and porcupines do it, just for the minerals and stuff.
Yeah. I almost wonder if it's more of the mice were after this one, just because I feel like this one would have been chewed up a lot more. I don't know. It's just, I wonder how long it even takes on average, like squirrels and stuff, to find them. Because, I mean, the squirrels are running all over the place, so you'd think they'd find them pretty quick.
Well, probably pretty quick with your sheds and your property, because just how big they are.
Shut up.
And with mine, with being so small, it takes them a little bit of time to find them.
It is what it is. But I would be curious on that, because, I mean, like I said, this one isn't chewed up a ton, but it's obviously last year's, and then the other one I would assume is last year's too, and it was another 100 yards away from each other. So, I mean, why that one and not the other one, I guess? But then you hear some properties where, like, as soon as the deer drop them, it seems like the squirrels are already chewing on them. I got one
Yeah,
up
I
here.
mean, I think it's just all on placement, right? And if the squirrel runs by it, like
But it's true. Have you worked with Brody at all on sheds or anything?
no, I mean he's found a shed before. Like when we were out duck hunting that one time, he found a shed and
Hmm.
brought it back to me, and I've been just trying to hopefully, a blind dog finds a shed every once in a while. I was hoping that's happen again, but it hasn't happened um, since that moment. So
I haven't really worked with Rip much, but Ellie I did a little bit on. I mean, as pups, like I let them both of them chew on them just to kind of get like I don't know, like the idea or habit of it, I guess.
yeah,
Ellie has found some. Rip, he's just a nut when he goes out there and runs all over the place and does donuts around you. He just doesn't care. But Glenn is, we're supposed to be getting together here soon. He actually sent his dog to shed training school. I think he was telling us about that at Kalamazoo, right? Yeah.
yep,
So we're supposed to be getting together here soon and hopefully find some more. Because if I found 3 old sheds in there just today, I couldn't imagine how many more are actually in there. But I wonder how the scent is on that though, compared to like the old ones compared to the new ones.
I always wondered. I wonder because if is it just the scent is coming off of
The pedicle.
where it came off the head? Is that only where the scent's at, or is it on the antlers too?
I don't know, but I will say this one here has got a stench to it. Just I don't know if it's the leaves or what, but it's got a stench to it. I think it's the first antler that I've ever found that has a little bit of stank to it. But
Is that the stained one,
yeah,
the old one?
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that the wax rings even got like kind of a scent to it on the fresh ones. But yeah, I don't know how that really works out. To be honest with you, I don't know. But I'd just be curious to see his dog work and I mean, hopefully find a handful, obviously. Like, especially out in the fields. I mean, we have so much fields around us where I feel like a lot of them get dropped out there. I mean, last year, I think it was, or this past year, me and Goodman were walking out doing something with the stands. I forget what we were doing. Maybe even hanging cameras up early on. And we were walking out there and just the base of the shed was sticking out of the dirt, and I think it was middle of summertime. You remember that?
Mm-mm.
It's one of those sheds up there, but it was just the base of it sticking out of the dirt. It had like the disc marks in it from the tractor going over top of it and everything. And I pulled it out of the ground, and yeah, it was a nice 8-point shed. That I mean, luckily I walked right into it. But I don't know, especially the cornfields. Cornfields are hardest part to find sheds. I feel like unless they're like real white or sticking out like crazy, those are tough.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're on your hand, if you're doing the zigzag and hitting every spot, there's a good chance you might miss one if you're not doing exactly that, especially in the cornfields.
That's one thing that I'll say that I don't do good at. I mean, yes, I track myself where I'm going, but I don't. What is that like checker the whole field or however they say it? Like I don't. What do they call that? Grid search the properties. I don't do that. I kind of just catch myself jumping on deer runs, and then if it's a thick area, I'll walk through there, or just good looking areas. I mean, sometimes it's hard to obviously see where they're usually at, like the runs and stuff. Even though I just said that I don't find much on the runs, but I feel like it's a good, I guess, starting point if you're paying attention further out. Because this year I've been kind of looking out further too. Previous years, I feel like I've been always looking down, and I feel like this year so far it's helped me kind of looking more out and using my binos and just really slowing down instead of just looking straight at my feet. Because I mean, one could be 15 feet next to you, and you never know it if you don't look up.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I mean I'm always looking down, but I always if I have time and I'm doing it the proper way, I'm usually taking 10 or so steps, stopping and doing like a full 360 and doing that kind of looking around and then doing another 10 to 15 steps and then do another full 360 looking around and kind of almost like a morel hunting and get down on the ground and look but
Do you
having time to do that.
see where they're going?
What's that?
Do you eat the deer shit to kind of see like where they're going or like where you think? I mean, if you're getting on the ground sheds,
I usually pick them up and I like squeeze them around a little bit to make sure they're fresh. So I'm not like pushing deer out. That's usually what I'm doing. I used to eat the shit and do it that way, but
eat or take like just take a lick.
like to get the full like you want to you want to eat it.
Why is it?
Yeah.
Find a shed, you got to be a part of what came out. I don't know.
You got to be the shed.
Makes sense. I get it. I get
And
that.
see how that's turned out for me. I find a bunch of spike horns. So.
Yeah, no, it's going good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you found that one shed over the big one that you found, man. I remember sitting there and like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like he found that stupid because that was a big shed that you found, and it's funny how like even if it happens to people all the time, I'm sure. Like if say you like try to get in front of your buddy or whatever to try to find that, like looking at that spot first, like how like kind of karma catches up to you with it all. Like my biggest one that I had out of that same spot where you found the big one at, I was going to go across the creek and look on the other side. Decided that it was wrong for me to do that, and I'll kind of just follow up with him and meet up, and we'll both go over there. And ran into that big one. I don't know. It's just kind of weird how shed hunting actually is. I mean, you'll find them in dumb spots, you'll find them in hard spots, but it seems like the dumb spots are the easiest. I mean, obviously they're the easiest, but like more consistent spot, I guess. You know, that thicket that you're crawling through and getting pricked by every stick and you're getting pissed off. There's never a shed in there, it seems like, but it seems like you're telling yourself there is. I don't know.
So I have a question for you. Going back to cutting a buddy off and finding the shed and stuff like that. So say if you're going with a buddy.
Is it hypothetical?
What's that?
Is this hypothetical? Like just you're throwing a
This is. I just want to ask your opinion on it.
Okay. This didn't happen, did it?
No, I mean, it might. I don't know. If you go with a buddy, right? And this can be. I think it's two different questions for public and private. But say you go on a private property with a buddy. He asks you to come out shed hunting with him, and you find a shed. Are you giving him that shed, or are you keeping that shed? This is on his private property.
Keeping it.
You're keeping it.
Unless you guys like talk about it or something like that. I mean, yeah, I'm keeping it. Probably.
So you find his target buck's antler. You're not giving him that deer, that shed.
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, like there's a bunch of different scenarios there. I mean, if it's, let's say you don't have a lot of sheds in your collection, if that's what you're doing, you know, maybe you keep it. You know, maybe it's a trophy of yours. It's a needle in a haystack, right? But I mean, if you got a handful and it's his target buck or whatever, and he really wants that, yeah, I mean, you might give it to him. I mean, if there's a drop tine buck on your property and I find it, yeah, you're not getting it. I'm just letting you know now.
I'm not inviting you out. So
well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's one of those things where there's a bunch of different variables, I guess, with it all. Like that set that I found scouting for turkeys that one day. I gave it to the landowner, and those things are probably still sitting outside. I wish I would have just kept them and not even said anything. I gave it to him out of, I don't know, appreciation, I guess. But yeah, I still think about that set that I found that day. But yeah, I'm probably keeping them. That's what I'm going to say. That's my answer. That's my final answer.
Keeping them. Okay.
What about you?
I'm probably giving them to the guy.
Really? But if he doesn't even like really care, like he like doesn't say nothing about it or anything, like you're still giving it to him?
If it's on his property, I'll give it to him.
On public, you're keeping it?
100%, yeah.
But what if he's hunting the public and you're not? And he's got history with that deer.
If he's got history with it, then yeah, sure. I think public's fair game. Like if we went to the spot that we I found the shed with you, like that was public property.
With that deer, and
you definitely didn't have history with that deer.
You're right.
Yeah, I just think it's like I don't know, like a common courtesy to do it that way, just to give him the shed if that's.
I could definitely see that for sure, but if it is like an absolute monster, it would be very hard to do that. Again, depending on what you're doing with it, I guess, you know what I mean, or what if you're keeping it just for your dog to chew on, and it's a giant, and your buddy's got a display of them somewhere. I feel like it'd be kind of wrong to just give your dog while he's got a whole display or whatever. You know what I mean? There's different scenarios with all of that stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, for sure. If I mean, I would think if there's, I guess for you, for example, like I'm gonna have ground rules with you because I know your ass ain't gonna give me the setup if I'm not setting up ground rules beforehand. But if I have a giant out there and I'm inviting you out there, I would say you can keep any other shed, but if you find this one, I want this shed because I have history with this deer.
When those ground rules are set, hypothetically saying I find that monster shed from that deer that you want, I'm probably going to stash that shed somewhere and then go back later on That way you have no idea about it, and then put it somewhere on my property and pretend to find it and then send it to you and then tell you about it 5 years later, probably.
Yeah, but see, that's why I wouldn't invite you.
That's hypothetically, though. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that was like what I would for sure like do.
hypothetical. You're the only guy that I know that would do that. So
Yeah, good point. That's a good point. I don't know. There's so many different, because I honestly thought about that today too. Like, there's people that have been wanting to go out and stuff, and it's like, am I selfish for not bringing them out? Obviously it's tough for me sometimes, like bird hunting. Obviously we take a lot of people out, and is it selfish of me to just kind of go out there and find all those and try to do it myself compared to like just grabbing a whole bunch of guys and, grid searching that whole thing? It's hard because I just kind of like doing it though. You know what I mean? Like if I don't cover all the ground, I mean, that's fine. Like it just lets me go out there that many more times, I guess.
yeah. No, I get that. It's your me time, right? You hunt with so many people throughout the year, and this is your time just to go out and do it.
Yeah, relax a little bit.
Especially like with your mindset though, is that if they find the shed, they keep the shed. So if you had the mindset of, hey, you can come out with me, we can go shed hunting, we can go have a couple beers, walk the woods, but I keep the shed, you might think differently about it.
Yeah, it's I guess your whole mindset of it all. Me personally, if somebody went out there, I mean, if they found that shed today out of a deer that I don't have history with, but I've had on camera, once or twice, I'd probably be a little butthurt for a day or two. But I mean, obviously, I wouldn't care after that. But he's just like, dang, man, like, you don't want to give that shed to me? Like, what's I don't know. It's just, I guess, I don't know. It's tough. But I will say this: Glenn did say that he doesn't want to keep any of them. He just wants his dog to find them. So that's why I want to take Glenn out there, because he would give them to me.
Because he doesn't want the sheds.
I mean, I don't care if he keeps them or not, but I don't know.
Sounds like you do.
I personally probably wouldn't care, like I said, unless it's like that big one. Like if it was this one here, yeah, like it would be cool to have. I mean, it's cool to have as many as you possibly can, because I mean it's a treasure hunt, right? But I guess I wouldn't blame the person if they didn't give it to me just because they found it. I guess fair and square.
I mean, that's where you're setting up the rule, like setting up the idea. And then if you have, I mean, I guess like I think of my buddies that I would take out back here, excluding yourself, 100% excluding yourself.
I didn't want to go out there anyways.
I would hope that I would think they found a good sized shed, they'd give it to me. That's my thought process on it.
I did see something the other day, because I've been thinking about like the rack behind me, like with all of them. There's a company out that has like this whole board of them, and they got strings that hang down, so it'd be like the whole like wall with like the slip knots where you hang them all. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool in here.
That's what my dad has on his wall.
Is it? I mean, I like the rack. Don't get me wrong, but
people can't see it. Just so you know.
What's that?
I don't think they can see it if on the film.
Oh, on my camera they can see it. So maybe once.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. But I'd like to kind of display it a little bit more. I mean, obviously there's a point where like you could hang the ones up in like the one hole holders or whatever, like you see on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it would cover up a whole dang wall, pretty much. I don't know. What is some tips or tricks for people shed hunting? Like what would you give advice, or what advice would you give to people that are wanting to go out maybe for the first time and don't even really know where to even begin with? Like where would you say to go? Maybe what days, weather, what to look for? I mean, what are your top, I don't know, top advice points? I don't know. I'm a little rusty with all this stuff. It's been a while for these podcasts.
I mean, I think the big thing if you're getting into this is you hit the deer runs. That's going to be the easiest thing to do, and to feel like that's what to do, right? Like I don't think now. I mean, maybe now there's still some deer holding on, like you said, that you still have some deer holding sheds. But in the next couple weeks, I would say 95% of deer have dropped their antlers in the next couple weeks. So I don't think if this is public property and you're not hunting it, I don't think it matters on the time or day of week or whatever. But if it's your private property, you probably want to treat it kind of like your deer hunting season, right? Where you're not going and walking the woods at your prime times, as in the morning and the afternoon, those time frames, but they might be in those food sources or in those areas that you're hunting. So hitting the early afternoon, late mornings, stuff like that. But finding your food sources, going in there, I always like to, anywhere where there's a run and there's logs across to anywhere where deer have to make a sudden movement that you see a lot of deer traffic on, where they have to jump, where the deer's going to move his head or do this or do that, look in those areas, finding pinch points in woods. That's my big thing. Walking, like you said, walking field edges, walking wood lines. That's going to be the easiest way to find sheds. And then after that, branching off and doing your grid searching.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think even glass and fields, you'd be surprised how many sheds you would find, even like in the winter wheat fields, bean fields, or even just tilled up fields. If you really take your time and glass those fields, you'd be surprised. But yeah, the easiest route would probably be just walking those. And here's the thing too, where I think with shed hunting, you're walking, you're trying to find sheds, but especially on the private property, even on the public, if you hunt that public piece, the sheds could actually kind of tell you a lot about what's going on over there as well. So, with you walking, I try to gather as much information as I can on one, maybe just the property on pieces like where I don't go into during season, or just trying to learn off like where their paths, I guess, or the runs. Yeah, it might change up a little bit, but they're on the runs pretty consistently, I feel like. And I try to at least kind of find their home, I guess, the home range. I'm finding the sheds in this spot that's probably kind of where they're going to be hanging out most of their probably life until they get bumped up out of there. So I guess gather as much research as you possibly can as well, because the sheds, yeah, they're awesome to find, but at the same time, they're telling you a lot about your deer. Another point that it helps me a ton, one, like I said, the Onyx, like with tracking where I go, but two, the kind of weather when you go. Today, I knew it was going to be tough. I got out of work, got home, raced out there. Granted, I know I was going to be busy the next couple of days, so I wasn't going to be able to get out there. But the overcast and if you get rain and stuff, I feel like are the easiest days to find them. Even if there's a little bit of snow in the woods, I feel like it's super hard because even the eyes are always transitioning between the white and the leaves and brown. So your eyes are always trying to make adjustments, so it makes it a little bit difficult. But after a rain, everything in the woods is like dark besides those white antlers out there. So it's a lot easier for them to stick out. Sunny days can be easy, but you have to use the sun to your advantage and have it at your back so that the shed is almost like a glaring off of that sun. Because if the sun's in your eyes, obviously you're blinding yourself, and unless you walk up right on that thing, it's going to be difficult to see. But I think weather actually has a lot to do with success out there. The type of day you go out, I guess. But yeah, like the fence lines, anything that like you said, the deer jumping over, that helps out a ton. The bedding, yeah, like I said, like everything you were saying. I think if I had to pick one thing that would help me out the most, though, is the type of day, like the weather that you're having.
Yeah. I've never done that before, like never based my shed hunting off of it, but that's a huge point that I've never really thought of. And so that's a good point there, Kyle.
Well, thanks, Trev. I really appreciate that. That's the one nice thing that you've said to me all day, and probably the one nice thing that you'll say to me for the rest of the month. So I appreciate that.
I'm just trying to be professional on this podcast. I'm trying to change over a new leaf here.
The problem is once you start donating your time to these animal shelters and stuff, you kind of get a chip on your shoulder, and sometimes you might think I'm dumb, but I got some smart thoughts in my head. All right, I got reasons behind a lot of this stuff. People might not think that, but there's reasons behind stuff that I do.
Just by the way you look, that's why I think a lot of people think you're not very smart.
My response to that is I don't blame them. But that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for the shed hunting tips and stuff. Just putting the miles out there, honestly. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a while. Like I said, the other day I walked, it wasn't all just shed hunting. I'll say probably 10 miles was shed hunting, and I found one old shed, and that was it. So make sure you put the miles on. And like today, I walked a half a mile and found 4 of them right there. So you just never really know. Put the miles on. Make sure you're gathering the research to help you improve even for the future. And I don't know, just I guess enjoy this. I don't know. It's not like a game where you got to try to be better than the next guy. You're just out there to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I would say this: just don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
One day you're going to be like Kyle Howard and just be able to find all these monster sheds. That's the goal in life. in the shed hunting world is to be like Kyle.
I'm trying to be like Trav. That's what I'm trying to be like. Trying to find the spikes. That's what I'm trying to be like. Because that's a hell of an eye. I don't know if you wore glasses as a kid, but you got hell of a set of eyes on you.
I got 20/20, man. I got 20/20.
What I'm saying. I mean, it takes some really good vision to be able to see those little things all the time. I mean, I know you wake up in the morning and look down and see that little thing every day, but maybe that's the practice that gave you the help to find those things. But yeah, I learned everything I know from Trav. But on that note, do you have anything else on shed hunting?
I do. I wanted to add one thing
Yeah.
that just came to me. Have you ever used antler traps before?
Yes, to an extent. I've used like natural stuff. When Michigan was allowed to bait, I would throw them under, fallen trees or logs or whatever it may be, to kind of more of a natural thing. But at the same time, it scares me too, because I've always been, it's if those fall off too soon or too early, and do more damage than good, when people say bungee cords, or I've seen holes in fences cut out and stuff, it's just, is it really that worth it to ruin your deer off of just finding the sheds and not putting in the amount of work? I mean, yeah, it'd be very nice to find them that easy. And like I said, I'm a victim of doing that. But a whole contraption I've never done. I've done more of like a natural kind of style of shed trap.
Yeah, I mean, I've know people that used to, like you said, when it was legal to bait, that would do the traps. I don't think I've never done it before, but I think if I did, I would do more of like the natural, like you've done, because I've heard horror stories from just forums and stuff where people have tried it with barbed wire, not barbed wire, like chicken
Yeah.
wire and stuff like that, and do it over a corn pile, and
Mhm.
the antlers still are not ready to drop yet. So then the antlers get tangled up in there, and then they get stuck, and it's just like a whole mess. So
Right. And I've heard like bungee straps hanging down, and I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff. There was one year I did like fence posts and just did them on an angle where they would have to go underneath it. So it's not natural, obviously. I put it there, but like it wasn't like where they would get tangled up inside of that, I guess. You know what I mean? It was more natural than like the chicken fence, I guess. I've never found one in a shed trap, but like I said, I have tried natural ones before, but I don't know. Again, I kind of just like the time walking out there, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Besides those dang chisel plowed fields I got to walk through to get to the properties thing. I hate those fields.
Just fucking send it, man. Just put the truck in 4 low and just go.
Oh, I'm not driving out there. I'm walking. I'm not getting stuck out there. One last thing I want to say is one of our main sponsors had dropped some big news on the industry recently. We've been talking to Glenn for a while about it all, and I think he is fed up enough to where GK is dropping a whole line of turkey calls, which I'm super excited about. Me and him were talking all day today about the logos and a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline, and I'm super excited to see the growth and just to see what comes about it all. I guess I'm super excited. I mean, if it's half as good of quality as their duck and goose calls, it's going to be some amazing turkey calls that they're going to be having. And like I said, I'm super excited for it all. So
Yeah, I'm just hoping to have some in my hands before turkey season so I can start using those calls, because I'm just as excited as you are.
well, there's a bunch of stuff that we're working on right now. So I don't know how we're trying to play this all out wise on the sales aspect of right now, where it might be kind of one of those things where we're talking about it this year, and next year we really drop it all once everything's set in stone. Because one thing GK does very well is they don't want to give you a product that is half-assed done. They want to give you top-notch stuff. So, and I don't blame any company that does that, obviously. I can't say it's going to be complete this year, but he dropped the news. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever it was. So I'm like I said, I'm super excited about that because the turkey season's right around the corner. So, well, I appreciate you coming on, Trav.
I'm happy you invited me on my podcast. I appreciated that.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know. I'm excited about all this stuff, though. I'm excited. I mean, we're really gonna start knocking these out. Get more guests on. I know we've said it before. Trav and I will be getting on here, and Chris will be on here once in a while. But we're gonna start knocking these out and getting these uploaded for everybody. I know everybody's been asking me a lot about where they've been, and we're back, baby.
Let's do it.
So I appreciate everybody tuning in on this week's podcast, and until the next one, good luck shed hunting. So we'll see you guys.